Testing, testing. Hello, everyone. Apologize for the delay. We've just got maybe two more people to check in, so we'll be right with you. Thank you. Hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jim Reid, and I welcome you to the annual James Reid Funeral Home Candlelight Ceremony here and on live stream. One of the reasons we host our bereavement support program is to continue the relationships with you after we've served your family at the funeral home. We also welcome you if you've come through a referral of Facebook or the Kingston newspapers. The bereavement support is an important way I like to support the Kingston community. My wonderful staff are uniquely positioned to know about and validate your experience. Tonight, you will be led by our bereavement support team, Nancy Hancock, Therese Barrett, and, my daughter, Sarah Hedberg Reid. We also have tonight one of our pianists, Mary Cassidy, as well as local musician, Brian Flynn on the violin, guitar, and voice. Our celebrant, Chris Walker, leads memorial services here at the James Reid Funeral Home, specializing in meaningful services for those without a connection to a church or clergy. Serving as ushers tonight are Funeral Director's Assistant Doug Casement, Funeral Services Student Kendra Lynn Page, and Jennifer Morgan, a licensed funeral director, and our extended care coordinator is here as well. Many of you know Jen, from helping you with the paperwork after the services. And our staff, funeral directors, receptionists, hostess, ushers, groundskeeper, we all take great pride tonight to make this a meaningful evening for you. Thank you for participating in our candlelight ceremony. Our ushers will lead you out after the service. Just follow them at 2 meters and please keep your mask on until you reach your car. All my best.
Good evening, and again, welcome to this annual candlelighting ceremony. In a few weeks, we will experience the shortest day and the longest night of the year. The days are getting darker as we speak. If you have come to this service, you know what it is to feel the darkness, the dark night of your grief. Compounding the darkness of these days is COVID-19. The pandemic has brought us to our knees before or while we were yet in grief. It has presented so many new griefs and challenges, not being able to have open and public funerals or celebrations of life, not being able to freely hug one another, to travel when someone has passed away, and not being able to receive visits from loved ones and neighbors bringing food to the bereaved. For some, this candle lighting ceremony is the only service you have had to honor your person. That is why we are so glad to welcome a limited number of people to our home, and many others who are able to join us by live stream in their own homes. For many, this time of year that we call the holiday season is no celebration at all. It is filled with many challenges, gatherings to host or to endure, shopping and cooking when you may not really feel like it, and a flood of memories that darken and dampen the days. When others are going ding-dong merrily on their way, you might rather the season just go away, that you could skip it altogether. It may be of some small comfort that this year, with the restrictions we all face on every side, the holidays will not be the same for any of us. There will be some empty chairs at all our tables this year. Yet you have come because of that one empty chair you are facing this year. This evening, as we offer this ceremony of word, music, candles, and quiet moments, it is our hope that you will find some peace and comfort in the company of others. Know that you are not alone. Know that we care. We have enjoyed receiving your beautifully decorated Christmas tree ornaments. They have been carefully hung on our tree in the lobby as you came in. Please take a moment after the service to pause and see the tree and then retrieve your own ornament to take home and hang on your tree or somewhere else where you will see it. For those who are joining our service online, please take a few moments to gather some candles, which we will be lighting later in the service, and perhaps a picture of the person you are honoring. Later, we will be writing cards of memory to our dear ones. May their memory be for a blessing.
Good evening. I was asked to do a time of gathering, and I was trying to think, what can I say as a time of gathering during this time? In my research, I found this poem about a journey on the train that I'd like to share with you. At birth, we boarded the train and we met our parents, and we believed they would travel always by our side. As time goes by, other people will board the train, and they will be significant, like our siblings, our friends, our children, strangers, and even the people we love. However, at some station, our parents will step down from the train, leaving us on this journey alone. Others will step down over time and leave a permanent vacuum. Some, however, will go so unnoticed that we don't realize they vacated their seats. This train ride will be full of joy, sorrow, fantasy, expectations, hellos, goodbyes, and farewells. Success consists of having a good relationship with all the passengers, requiring that we give the best of ourselves. The mystery to everyone is we do not know at which station we ourselves will step down. So, live the best you can, love, forgive, and offer the best of who we are. It is important to do this because when the time comes for us to step down and leave our seat empty, we should leave behind beautiful memories for those who will continue to travel on the train of life. We wish you a peaceful journey for the coming years on your train of life. Reap success, give lots of love, and be happy. More importantly, be thankful for the journey. Lastly, I want to thank you for being one of the passengers on my train.
Good evening. My part tonight is to lead us all in a responsive reading. So you'll need to open up your program to the inside left. And I read the one part, and you read the people part. How's the sound for everyone in the back? Fine, wonderful. Thank you so much. May we be surrounded by understanding and caring people. May we accept the sadness we feel and the tears we shed. May regrets, guilt, or any other hurts we carry be acknowledged and set free. May we be patient and kind with ourselves and with others. No matter how shattered our lives may feel right now, may we continue to light candles in the midst of the darkness. And may we hold onto the promise that the intensity of our grief will not last forever. New life and new hope will come. Thank you.
This evening, we invite you to create a new tradition, one that reflects the significant change that's taken place in your life, one that honors the person who is no longer with you. You each received a little card when you arrived this evening. In a few moments, our musicians will play quietly and Brian Flynn will sing a special song. During this time, please use the back of your card to write the name of your person and a few words in memory of them. For those who are online, you may add your loved one's name and a comment or message by clicking on the chat symbol on the side of your screen. Alternatively, you may instead write the name and a memory on a card or piece of paper. We then invite you to take this card home and to include it in a new ritual. Perhaps tuck it into the Christmas tree or place it at a special place on your table, or share it with someone who loves you. Hear these words of dedication from Gates of Prayer, a Jewish prayer book. We remember them. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. And so please take this time now to enjoy the music and to reflect and write on your memory cards.
a reflection entitled Clearing the Eyes of Our Hearts in 2020. Hear this poem by local Kingston poet Bruce Kaufman entitled Today. I am only this single instant, and this instant, yesterday's challenge, tomorrow's mist. How thin this trail, how lucid this color, how cleansing this light. I am silence. I am the seed of tomorrow. I am the wind set still. I am morning without light. I am evening color. I am the final chapter of an untold story. I am a single note in 900,000 chords. And still I am but yesterday's breath and tomorrow's vapor. 2020 will always be recalled as a year of endarkening and enlightening due to its pandemic effect on our worldviews. Whereas before, the numbers 2020 said together were a happy recognition of perfect vision. From now on and for our era, 2020 will be numbers that cause us to ponder anew what were the life lessons revealed as we have weathered and will weather its weeks and months of this year's unease, its illnesses, our collective loss of people, place, sureness about the future. Before, life seemed mainly to be unfolding as it should. After change has been thrusted upon us, these 9 months will be remembered for many reasons, including the birth of a future which will be different in ways we will only discover as circumstances unfold. Such signal events in human history can be definitive. For us here gathered, there has been the extra level of change brought about through the loss of someone whose life has profoundly changed us. I had occasion recently to recall out loud with a friend a single year in my own family, a while ago now, in which my mother and 3 grandparents died. The loss continues to be experienced deeply, for they were the storytelling generation. They peopled our lives with ancestral lore and legend, which still shape our family to the day. Other families have had those kinds of awful years, and they change life in some sense forever, perhaps even some here tonight. So I encourage us to take up our loved person's torch, our family's legends, especially those experiencing tonight without a cherished one at the completion of this unprecedented year of changing our vision for better and for worse. Let us, too, become storytellers, or perhaps simply extend that gift within your own circle of family, friends. For the sake of our children, our grandchildren, for their future generations, and gratifyingly for our own sakes, let us resurrect small vignettes and grander sagas given to us by our elders. For in so doing, we will be raising that new tradition of writing our own histories, of shaping our life stories for future generations. Those younger who will be living after us need to hear these things and to do so already for themselves. And we will benefit when we tell our stories to embed in them as strongly as our ancestors have done for us. For we are indeed living in historic times, friends and fellow sufferers. And it will be good to know them as such right now, to see our history in the making, and to give others a vision of what dreams may come for them, what sagas may yet await their days. Let us observe this simple fact. In a few short weeks, we are at the end of the second decade of the 2000s, the teen years, if you will, of this childlike second millennium AD. Further, we are entering a third decade soon, which will be known as the 20s, the young adulthood decade, if you will, of this millennium. Whether it shall be as raucous and wild or even as foreboding as the 1920s or not, whatever turns out for this coming decade, the 2020s are surely going to be as dramatic for our future generations as were the teens and 20s those decades a century ago now. Let us find a way to make our coming comedies and tragedies part of what lifts us and our families into a higher understanding of what it truly is to be spiritual beings having the full range of human experiences. There is in this act of storytelling a kind of immortality granted to our friends, to our ancestors, when what was best in them lives on in us as values and strengths. Those loved persons are made real again through us as characters and qualities that truly make life worth the living for us and for those who follow us. We make good through us in a differing way that which was best in them. The old word, eulogy, simply means a good word. A good word. And there is a sense in which our best eulogies for those we have known and loved is to live life to the full, carrying forward what they have shaped us to be and giving those best gifts of family and friends on to those younger than we. And that means a commingling, if you will, of their lives and of our stories told well. Simultaneously, mysteriously and practically, telling their stories with ours, shaping our histories into shared sagas, becomes part of the healing process in us, too. Naming names, truth-telling, writing both comedy and tragedy into the minds and hearts of families and circles of relationships has a salving, healing, wholesome effect upon us. Joys, sorrows remembered, simple stories recalled and openly shared, honest, open recollections of those wondrous people who inhabit our hearts, all help in returning us to a hope and a future. We carry those lovely gifts of human beings then forward with us wherever we go. It has been my experience, been shared by others, that grieving does not truly go away. Yet it can metamorphose into envisioning a land of beginning again, with a newer and better vision, a clearing of the eyes of our hearts for those days yet to come, within which loss becomes gain. Despair climbs toward hope. Sorrows descending are intermingled with joys ascending, and life moves forward to a whole new universe. For let us observe, to remember is to remember our loved ones, seeing them again in a new way, as a means of grace that puts us also back together again. To remember our lives, to make us newly ready, to pay forward that given to us by those wondrous folks who shaped us to be who we are now. May the sweet mysteries of this season of the year clear the eyes of our hearts, so that we will move from 2020 to 2021 with a larger vision of what is possible, strengthened by those who have been part of our lives, motivated by what we can become for those living forward into days that we will never see except through the eyes of their hearts. Let us live again and again, rising in our children and our children's children. To complete, another poem by Bruce Kaufman from his book, The Texture of Days in Ash and Leaf, entitled Perpetuity. The perpetual motion of the shuffle of generations, footsteps falling into heart steps waiting, each falling effortlessly, aimlessly, down then up. This multi-direction stairway, each footstep always the first one forward, and in the shadow, the next one back, rocking, shifting, progress measured in the beats of landscape changing. We celebrate the seasons, eulogize potential, and these footsteps behind us, coming louder, coming clearer, footbeats waltzing with heartbeats trailing until we close our eyes and hear a final lap, that last note of the heart and the foot echo off the edge of sky.
So tonight, We light them for our grief, for our courage, for our memories, and for our love. So we light this first candle to remind us of our grief, our losses, the loss of relationship, the loss of jobs, the loss of health, the loss of faith, the loss of joy, and the loss of those we cherish. We light the second candle to recognize our courage. The courage to confront our sorrow, to comfort each other, and the courage to change our lives. We light the third candle to remember. We pause and remember the past weeks, months, and for some of us years that have been heavy with burdens. We remember the times we laughed and we cried, the times that we were happy, the times that we were angry, the silly things we did, and we remember the joy and the caring that you gave us. We light this fourth candle for those whom we have loved. We pause to remember clearly their faces, their voices, their bodies. We embrace and give thanks for the memories that bind us to them, especially in this season. There is a special place reserved in our hearts for them, and we are thankful for the gift of their living that we receive.
Now we will hold a moment of silence. I'd like you all to take your candle and turn it on, please. And those of you at home, please light your candles. After a moment of silence, we will listen to Silent Night being played. We are not allowed to sing, except if you're at home, but please follow along in the back of your program, the words. Now we hold a moment of silence. grateful that you came tonight. Here we conclude the James Reid candle lighting service for 2020. Please take some quiet time. Our ushers must lead you out, so please wait for them to come and lead you out. They will start from the back and move forward. So just wait patiently in your seats and please keep your mask on until you're in your car. Again, thank you and we wish you peace.